have left it in one of the stores. What is the matter with you? What do you want me to do? We're in LA. People get their shit stolen all the time here.
No, you know what it is? You never look both ways. You never check your surroundings ever.
Can't we just reschedule our flight or something?
Yeah, it's just that easy for you, isn't it?
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Welcome to my talk show. I'm Darina Atika as your host for today. Basically, this is the first episode of my talk show. So, based on the scene that we watched just now, we already show you a little bit hint for the topic that we will discuss for today. So, I've already invited our 3 special guests in this episode. Without wasting the time, let's invite our guests. Okay, start from my left, we have Puan Junaida, who is the person that has been experienced of divorce. Second, we have our famous artist, Ashikin. And last, we have the Honorable Minister of Women, Family and Community Development, Dr. Nur Suryati. So, our topic for today, it is actually to give more knowledge and solutions for both husband and wives out there to overcome their problems in a household. Does every marriage bring happiness? This is the question and topic that we will discuss for today. So first, I would like to start with Puan Junaida. Puan Junaida, can you tell us a little bit about your experience on how you can get into divorce?
Okay, first of all, thank you for inviting me in your show. I would like to tell a little bit about my experience with my ex-husband, which is I divorced with him due to the several key factors, which were due to the lack of commitment between us that caused our marriage getting worse.
So, can Puan Junaida tell us actually, what is commitment when it comes to marriage?
Okay. For me, commitment is an effort that must have in every relationship. We tend to act different and prioritize, evaluate and prioritize. Find that we are no longer living for ourselves, but with our spouse. And then being committed means that you are thinking about both of you and with every decision that you will be making.
So, do you think commitment is important in a marriage?
Yes, for me, commitment is very important in a marriage because when both husband and wife are committed to each other, the relationship will be more meaningful. For example, when it comes to some special days like the wife's birthday, the husband should put an effort to celebrate or give a present to his wife. Same as the wife should do the same thing to her husband, so that from this the relationship will be last long.
So, can you explain more how lack of commitment can affect a marriage?
Okay, one of the primary reasons why lack of commitment causes the downfall in marriage is that one or both of the spouse are getting to drift away and begin taking their partner for granted. So if you no longer feel love or important, what will happen to your marriage, right? So if one refuses to work in a relationship, the marriage cannot be saved. So like my experience, I realized that it was a lack of commitment on my part because I didn't feel romantic towards him at all. And I feel like he was just like a friend to me, so that's why our marriage cannot be saved.
So now we're gonna move to our next guest, who is our famous artist in Malaysia, Ashikin. So Ashikin, if I'm not mistaken, you are the one of the artists that are getting married early, right? It is about when you are 20 years old, something, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, hi everyone. First and foremost, I would like to thank to our host for today for inviting me in your talk show for today. So, thank you so much for Nika for inviting me today. Before I move on to your question just now, I would like to ask you, do you always stalk me at the Google or on the social media? Because you're such as a stalker, you know everything about me.
Yeah, of course. We all know everything about it because you are famous artist in Malaysia, right? So, can you share with us what actually a factor that could lead you to get married in early age?
Actually, at first, I think it is the best choice that I want to start my new life with my beloved partner. That I think who can give me a happiness. Yeah, we know the young people always do something without taking a long time, right? So at first, actually, our parents disagree with our relationship because they think it is too early with our age. But when he's said that he really want me to be his wife, so our parents just approve us because they know that we love each other. So after that, we decide to getting married in the young age. Even though actually we still studying, but at a different university.
So, do you think your early marriage will happen just like what you expected?
To me, based on my experience, it is too contrast with my expectation. Actually, the young marriage is not as beautiful as expected. In a drama that we always watch on the television, because some changes and problems between husband and wife will happen one by one. So if they're not strong, maybe at the last they will give up. As we know, lately we heard about the hot issue on the social media. It is about the young age couple, about 16 to 17 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So actually, I have read some comments from netizens that give many positive comments. So maybe some netizen thinks that it is the best time, but to me, is can give a negative effect to their future.
So, why do you think like that? Isn't marriage at young age happy?
Yeah, maybe some of them get happier, but still some of them have to face the problems like the divorce issue.
So, just like your answer just now, what are the causes that you think that can make them involved into divorce in a young age?
Okay, I would like to ask your opinion. Do you think that the teenagers like them must to be focused on their studying?
Yeah, of course.
So just imagine that they are getting married, but at the same time they are still studying. To me, it can cause to the lack of communication between husband and wife because they are very busy with their own study, with their homework or their assignment. It is important to them because to get a good result in their examination so that the married couple must feel disturbing with their problems because they don't have their free time to discuss about their problems.
Thank you to Puan Ashikin and also Puan Junaida for your explanation just now. Okay, so now I'm gonna continue with Dr. Nusrati. I would like to ask about this issue. Can you tell us a little bit about divorce?
Divorce is the legal dissolution of a marriage by a court or other competent body. A divorce happens after a husband and wife decide not to live together anymore and that they no longer want to be married to each other again. They agree to sign legal paper to make them each single again and allow them to marry other people if they want to.
Okay, I see. So, doctor, based on their explanation just now, and also based on their experience, what can you tell us about the statistics according to the common situation that always happen and causing divorce for married couples?
According to the statistic, divorce cases in Malaysia often occurs because of many reasons. For instance, like has been mentioned by Puan Junaida, based on her experience, lack of commitment is the most causes of divorce in Malaysia with the percentage 75% and followed by 45.1% for any marriage that has been mentioned by Puan Siti just now.
So, doctor, based on your perspective, do you think that domestic violence could be one of the factors that may cause divorce to happen? And Actually, what is meant by domestic violence?
Relative to the statistic, it shows domestic violence is also one of the factors that cause divorce with the percentage 18.2%. Domestic violence is a pattern of violence, abuse or intimidation used to control or maintain over a partner who is or has been in an intimate relationship. Fundamentally, domestic violence is about power and control.
So, as we talk about domestic violence, who could involve in this situation? And is it true that children also can get involved in this situation?
The people is always involved in this case is women mostly. Indirectly, their children also affected by their parents' problem.
But how they can get affected by it?
Many children exposed to violence in the home are also victims of physical abuse. Children who witness domestic violence or are victims of abuse themselves at a serious risk for long-term physical and mental health problems. Children who witness violence between parents may also be at greater risk of being violent in their future relationships. If you are a parent who is experiencing abuse, it can be difficult to know how to protect your child.
Okay, so doctor, other than what is stated, what are the factors that can contribute to domestic violence? Maybe you can explain about the characteristic traits of wife or husband who are always present in domestic violence?
Yeah, sure. For the character trait, it's always easily to witness through the characteristic of the husband. Most causes of domestic violence occur among couples who have severe bad temper.
How it could happen?
This happens because they cannot control their anger and release their anger physically, such as by hitting the wife and also the children.
So doctor, as we know, this kind of situation actually could give the negative impact to the victim or the individual who are facing with this kind of situation, right? So can you tell us what are the effects of domestic violence to them, specifically to the wives and children?
As usual, women can feel trauma of that event, and if it's too severe, it could lead to mental health disease like depression. The situation also can change her perspective towards men, while the effects of domestic violence on children play a tremendous role on the well-being and development of mental growth of children witnessing the event. Children who witness domestic violence in the home often believe that they are to blame, live in a constant state of fear, and are 15 times more likely to be victims of child abuse.
Thank you to Dr. Nusriati for your explanation and sharing just now. So I would like to move on to Puan Junaida back. So Puan Junaida, I want to ask, how about the financial problem? Could it be one of the factors that could lead to divorce?
As we know right now, we are facing the new norm caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. We also know that the economic growth is decreased because of this pandemic. So this lead to many negative effects to us, such as many workers have been fired, and also many people are facing the same situation and the same problem as me, which is the financial problems. This also happened to my husband. He lost his job, and also we lost our daily source income, and that makes our relationship ended.
So do you think the financial is important when it comes to marriage?
Yes, for me it is important because we need money to survive, and also as a husband he need to fill out my needs. Otherwise, I will be deficient, and for sure, as a wife, I will feel stress and tension to face all these problems that make my life become harder. So, for my opinion, having money in marriage helps to make the marriage becomes more enjoyable by the things that money can buy for us, and also can reduce the pressure of the couples.
Okay, the last question I would like to ask to our beloved artist Ashikin. Okay, in your opinion, what are the other factors that can lead to divorce besides of lack of communication?
So I think the freedom also related to the young marriage couple because usually the young people always like to hang out with their friends, right? And do some interesting activities such as having a travel, do the same hobbies and the others. So once they getting married, their freedom become limit because they must have to spend more time with their family, especially when they already have the children.
Thank you, Pashikin, for your explanation and sharing this now. Okay, so from all factors that we discussed earlier, of course, every problem must have a solution. Without delay, I would like to ask Puan Junaida to share with the audience out there on how they can do to overcome their problems, specifically when it comes to lack of commitment and also financial problem.
Okay, for me, to overcome these problems, our both husband and wife should be more understanding to each other, especially when have a problem. We should sit together and discuss on how to solve the problem instead of blaming each other. So, as it further strengthen the relationship between husband and wife, and as a wife also, we need to support everything that the husband does in easy or difficult times.
So how about Puan Siti? What can you share with the audience out there, especially for the young married couple to overcome your problems?
I think the couple must be smart to divide their own time, even they are busy, because as we know, when it comes to marriage, the married couple must give the full commitment to each other. For instance, they must try to find their free time for discuss and slow talk about some of their problems. Hence, the problems can be solved easily. Besides, they also need to understand each other because this can avoid the young marriage from getting fighting over the small problems.
Okay, thank you to Puan Siti and Puan Junaida for your advice. And now I'll like to move on to Dr. Nusrati. So, Doctor, as like what you have been talk about your point, maybe you could share some of solution that women out there can take as the advices for them before they get married, or some solution for the victim that facing the domestic violence to overcome and get help if they have been involved in that situation, domestic violence.
Okay, every woman needs to think rationally before getting married, so there is no domestic violence that will lead to divorce. Other than that, both men and women should always be positive and open-minded so as not to cause small problems to become big. Communicating is also one of the solutions to prevent the problems. Divorce victims can seek counselor for advice. They can also ask their opinions to make their best decision about their life. They can also express their feelings to family, friends, counselor, or other people they trust.
Thank you, Srati, for your
Most welcome.
advices. So, from our topic for today, I would like to say that there are many factors that can lead to divorce, such as lack of commitment, lack of communication, early marriage, financial problem, and also domestic violence. Just like what Dr. Srati said just now, there are many ways that we as women or victims out there can do to help, to get help or help people that are facing domestic violence, and it's all our responsibility to help them get out of the domestic violence. So I want to thank all of our guests and our audience for today. Thank you to Puan Junaida, Puan Ashkin, and also Dr. Nusrati for spending your precious time with me in this talk show. Lastly, I hope that the audience out there can get more knowledge and maybe some tips from today's talk show. That's all for today. I'll see you guys on the next episode in the same day and the same time. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.